Interesting, because you speak about the benefit to these two gentlemen.
Yes.
And so then what that would do is that it speaks highly to the political positions that they both take. Of course, we look at the wave of nationalism that hit many parts of Western Europe, France not being left behind, Germany experienced same thing, Spain, Portugal, across board said, okay, it's time that we were inward looking. Even though we've come from the 2000s when we were, pockets of countries whereby we had to work together for certain things, then now making yourself a place, a state whereby your national outlook then had to reflect on the global stage. Now, taking all of that into consideration, the position that France held in West Africa in terms of popularity has waned significantly. Maybe that's a very diplomatic way of putting it, but essentially, 8 West African countries kicked France out of their existence. Emmanuel Macron insinuated or gave rise to that in his speech yesterday, where he acknowledged that they've lost popularity on the African continent and said, you know what, here's an opportunity basically for us to get it back. So, is this summit about France or is it about Africa?
Well, it's mainly about France.
Okay.
In Africa. But it's a French thing and it's a Macron thing. But then Macron and Ruto appear to synchronize very well. Remember the time that Ruto was in France some times ago, and they seem to get along with Macron as if they are buddies.
Yes.
And even there was that episode where for some peculiar reason, Ruto was able to address a rally in Paris. How do you organize a rally in Paris? Unless it is government. It was Macron's way of winning Ruto over. As somebody I think he identified very early.
Yes.
As somebody like he can work with.
Yes.
To promote French interest, the way he sees it. So there is convergence of interest between the two men. And since they control their particular countries, at this time, they can harmonize.
Right.
And for mutual benefit. Whether the countries gain or not is another matter. But from what we are reading, somehow Nairobi rail system is supposed to improve. And if it happens, fair enough. But people are used to hearing so many promises, which some have a problem becoming true, becoming realized. But Macron is on a mission, and he's not the first Frenchman to do that.
No.
To try and make the French look as if they are a big power. Right now in Europe, the Europeans are confused, mainly because they used to depend on the United States, and the US is no longer dependable. So who then can come out and look as if he can lead the French and the Europeans? Is Macron. And then outside Europe, how do you prove that you are acceptable? Well, go to Africa and have a meeting. And there will be the whole publicity about it. So as you alluded to the New Right movement, which has been sweeping the West.
Yes.
Donald Trump is an example of that. And then you had this fellow who lost in Hungary, Victor somebody, who lost. But then if you saw the elections in England within the last week, the New Right is on the rise.
Yes, it is.
And that in itself says something. And in France itself, Marine Le Pen might join the wave. Actually, she came very close. So there is that fear. And what you have with the New Right is rethinking of going back to the days before World War II, when perceptions of nationalism and anti-foreign racism was normal. And if you see some of these New Right people, they are outright racists. And they are gaining momentum. The reason they are gaining momentum is because of fear in Western world that they have been losing.
Yes.
And whether they like it or not, they have been losing. So the question is, why have they been losing? And they say, oh, we've been losing because there are too many foreigners who come to our country and become citizens. But apply what might be called the Peter principle. You penetrate, integrate, and take over. So, and you can see, in England, so there was an Indian who became prime minister.
Yes. For a while, but okay.
Yes.
There's a mayor in Washington.
And an Ugandan is mayor of New York.
New York.
Yes. New York.
And London has an Indian as well.
Yes.
So Donald Trump is the one who comes out very well, showing that there's something wrong with this. So how do you stop this? You stop migration. And you, Donald Trump, main beef, and the reason he became president is to campaign against Obama, and saying that this Kenyan came from nowhere and became president. So stop migration, you know. And if they can, they would like to change the constitution, remove the 14th Amendment. That if you are born in the U.S., you are a U.S. citizen. Say, no, that should not be the case.
Right.
Your parents should also be citizens. So as to stop an Obama phenomenon in future. If you look at Canada, they've got in cabinet people who are maybe Indian, some other. And the foreign minister for Britain today is from the Caribbean, ideally, initially. He looks like a Kenyan from somewhere. But that in itself is creating a lot of fear. And so we have this reaction. How do you stop?